The soft hues of dawn broke over Beirut, casting a warm glow over the bustling city. As the sun peeked through the buildings, a man poured steaming coffee into a chipped mug, his eyes scanning the documents strewn across the kitchen table. With each sip, the familiar aroma filled the air, a comforting prelude to another day. He stepped onto the balcony, taking a deep breath of the salty breeze, unaware that he was just minutes away from being thrust into a world of danger. For years, Mossad tracked him, and on this morning, they finally found him. Imad Mughniyeh, a name often whispered in the darkest corners of intelligence agencies, a shadow that loomed larger than life in the eyes of his adversaries. As the military chief of Hezbollah, Mughniyeh wasn't just another operative. He was the architect behind some of the most notorious and devastating attacks of the late 20th century. Imagine a man whose fingerprints could be traced over bombings, hijackings, and orchestrated chaos that spanned continents, from the bustling streets of Beirut to the distant shores of South America. His mastery of strategy and tactics made him an enigmatic figure, a ghost who seemed to slip through the fingers of even the toughest intelligence agencies. Again and again, entities like the CIA, MI6, and Mossad engraved his name into their threat assessments, labeling him as one of the most dangerous men alive. These aren't titles casually handed out. They carry the weight of terror and undefeated cunning, yet Mughniyeh embodied this status effortlessly. What made him so elusive? His ability to vanish, leaving behind only the remnants of his operations and a trail of unanswered questions. Mughniyeh operated in shadows, blending seamlessly into the very environments they sought to monitor. His network was an intricate web, carefully woven and meticulously maintained, each thread representing a trusted ally or operation, each knot symbolizing loyalty that was as steadfast as it was perilous. In a realm where many have fallen, his refusal to be captured or killed instilled a profound fear, not only in his enemies, but also in those who endeavored to protect their interests. The stories told about him became almost mythic, of daring thefts, explosive ambushes, and the silent gestures that ignited conflicts and international incidents. As the ultimate ghost, he was feared not just for his strategic mind, but for the aura of invincibility that cloaked him. His life felt like a game of chess, moving pieces on a global board without ever being completely visible. To some, he was a hero defending his homeland, to others, a ruthless terrorist. However, the truth lay hidden somewhere in the shadows, making Imad Mughniyeh an enigma that would frustrate and fascinate the world far beyond his years. The hunt for Imad Mughniyeh, one of the most notorious figures behind Hezbollah's operations, stretched over decades and spanned continents, embodying the relentless drive of intelligence agencies. Rooted deeply in the shadows of the 1980s, this pursuit intensified after high-profile attacks such as the US Embassy bombings in Beirut and the harrowing kidnappings of Westerners. In those chaotic years, the CIA and Mossad forged an unprecedented collaboration, united by a singular goal: to track down a ghost. During this prolonged chase, false leads became all too common. Intelligence operatives meticulously followed whispers and sightings, each time filled with a sense of hope that would quickly turn to disappointment. Take, for instance, the leads coming from Sudan. Agents staked out safe houses they believed might be Mughniyeh's refuge. Days turned into weeks, but each time the stakeouts yielded nothing. Similarly, in Damascus, eerie case files of mistaken sightings revealed the depths of their frustrations. A crowded street or a dark corner where they'd anticipate catching a glimpse of their quarry instead left them staring into emptiness. Then there were the near misses in Europe. An unsuspecting informant provides a name, a room number, a date, the thrill of the chase surging through operatives as they prepared to make their move. But once again, Mughniyeh would slip through their fingers, like sand washed away by the tide. With each failure came not just frustration, but an insatiable obsession. Dedicated agents began to study not just Mughniyeh's activities, but also his very essence, his routines, associates, and masterful disguises. What could have been a series of straightforward missions morphed into a game of psychological warfare. The stakes were high, and the operatives understood that patience was their ally. Late nights turned into years of focused intelligence work, each detail meticulously catalogued, digital maps shifting with every rumor of Mugnier's next move. They would need perfect timing, when to strike, when to wait, and where he would turn up next became a deeper understanding. This obsessive hunt echoed the sentiments of anyone who's faced a seemingly insurmountable challenge. We've all experienced moments of feeling like we're on the brink of success, only to see it slip away. The agents involved knew that what lay ahead was not just a matter of national security, but also a test of resolve. In the heart of Damascus, a web of intelligence threads began to draw tighter during the tumultuous years of 2007 and 2008. This wasn't just another shadowy figure in the Middle East. This was a person of critical interest. And finally, after years of elusive movements, the pieces of the puzzle started to come together. The CIA, along with Mossad, were utilizing their technological prowess and human resourcefulness in synchrony, launching a covert operation that would redefine their pursuit. Imagine the intricate choreography of agents moving silently through the bustling streets of Damascus, each step taken with meticulous precision. While the markets buzzed and the call to prayer echoed, these operatives worked under extraordinary secrecy, slipping beneath the radar of the local populace. Surveillance teams set up checkpoints, gathered data, and analyzed behaviors. They pinpointed his preferred restaurants, the coffee shops where he met allies, and his clandestine rendezvous across the city. Each dinner, each meeting became a crucial breadcrumb in understanding his daily routine. As agents meticulously tracked his movements, the tension in the air grew thicker. Imagine the anticipation each time they confirmed a new sighting. Was this truly him, or merely a double? The missed opportunities weighed heavily on the operatives' minds. Hours turned into days, and days bled into weeks as they replayed surveillance footage, looking for any subtle cue, any tiny detail that would solidify their suspicions. It wasn't merely about confirming a face, it was about building a comprehensive picture of his life in Damascus. The real turning point came from an unassuming discarded item, perhaps a piece of trash left behind in a hurry. It was a simple container, but within it lay traces of DNA that changed everything. This single breakthrough sparked a flurry of activity. Agents pieced together everything they had learned and finally confirmed his identity through this scientific evidence, enhanced by the intimate knowledge they had gained from indirect observation. This wasn't luck. This was the culmination of patience, extraordinary technological resources, and human tenacity. The intelligence community had demonstrated time and again that success isn't born from a single moment of fortune, but from relentless effort and a commitment to the mission. Each operative's personal stake, each sacrifice made in the shadows of Damascus, reflected a deeper understanding that this hunt wasn't just about one individual. It was about a larger goal, a response to threats that ripple beyond borders. The atmosphere was electric as they realized they were on the verge of a major breakthrough, a convergence of technology, human insight, and the kind of perseverance that defined dedicated intelligence work. The hours spent in intense surveillance were the building blocks of the success that lay just over the horizon, waiting to be seized. Now, with newfound determination, they prepared for the next critical steps, fueled by the knowledge that they were closer than ever to their target. When it comes to executing a high-stakes operation like this, precision is paramount, and the joint collaboration between Mossad and the CIA exemplifies a meticulous approach to planning. This was not just a mission. It was a carefully choreographed dance of intelligence gathering, strategic positioning, and real-time adjustments designed to ensure the target would be neutralized with zero collateral damage. Picture a bustling street, a stretch of asphalt alive with the hum of daily life, the kind of place where soap vendors hawk their wares and children play soccer. In the midst of this normalcy, Agents from both agencies understood that their success hinged on one critical tenet: one man, one street, no civilian casualties. Their goal wasn't just to take out a high-profile target, it was to do so quietly, efficiently, and without repercussions that could destabilize an already fragile region. Weeks of painstaking observation began. They knew the daily routines of the target intimately, the exact time he left his residence, the route he took to the office, even the habitual stops he made along the way. Agents took up positions alongside the road, blending into the landscape of everydayers, inconspicuous among the chaos of traffic and foot traffic. They gathered intel not only on the target, but also on the streets themselves, absorbing every detail of the environment, rifles slung across their backs, but otherwise appearing as casual passers-by. Every single day, the agents ran reconnaissance under cover of routine embassy traffic. They rehearsed the intricacies of the plan, ensuring that even the slightest movement would be orchestrated with synchronicity. Imagine the intensity of coordinating such a complex endeavor, where each member of this joint task force played a pivotal role in every facet of the operation. In the weeks leading up to the hit, timing became an obsession. Every microsecond of detonation, timing was honed through countless simulations. The car bomb, a surgical tool, wasn't just any explosive, it was a carefully crafted piece of technology. Shaped specifically for directional impact, it would unleash its fury towards a narrow focus, ensuring the target would bear the brunt of the explosion while leaving the surrounding area unharmed. The satellite view made it clear. The explosive would be placed in a spare SUV parked strategically along the route, while the street remained oblivious to the impending chaos. They didn't just set it and forget it. Agents tested the signal range repeatedly. Communication devices were fine-tuned to eliminate any potential interference, ensuring that the detonation would occur precisely on cue. And let's talk about line of sight. The angles were scrutinized down to the earliest risers and the late-night owls. Every potential distraction was analyzed: pedestrians, traffic lights, and even stray animals that might inadvertently impact their plan became points of consideration. The stakes couldn't have been higher, and while it's easy to think about the mission in broad strokes, the reality was particularly personal for those involved. Each agent knew that the success or failure of this operation could alter lives, not just for their target, but for countless innocents living in the crosshairs of global politics. This was more than just a mission. It was a balancing act of moral complexities, with each member acutely aware that they were responsible for the implications of their actions. As the set day approached, tension thickened the air, traceable, palpable. Everything hinged on the outcome of what they had refined through countless hours of preparation, meticulous detail orientation, and unwavering focus. There was no room for error. The trust, the collaboration, the shared commitment between Mossad and the CIA held the potential to either sow chaos or maintain the fragile peace. The clock ticked down, and with it came an appreciation for the weight of their task. It was an operation defined not just by hard edges and strategic calculus, but also by the very human drive to confront threats and protect those who couldn't protect themselves. As the final rehearsals wrapped up and signals were double-checked, the world held its breath, unaware of how the journey of intelligence and tactical precision was about to unfold. The air in Damascus was unusually still that night, an eerie calm wrapping the city in silence. On February 12, 2008, it was as if the world had paused, holding its breath for what was to come. The streets, usually bustling with the sounds of life, lay untouched, leaving only the faint whisper of the wind in the shadows. While families settled in for the evening, distant from the unfolding drama, a different atmosphere permeated the nearby apartments, one of tension mixed with unnerving anticipation. In those nondescript buildings, agents were strategically hidden, eyes trained on the night below. Each operator was a poised figure in their own right, submerged in their own thoughts, but highly attuned to the soft glow of their screens. The air was thick with a palpable intensity. They were not just observers tonight, but active agents in a lethal game of cat and mouse. Their hearts beat in synchrony with the ticking clock, each second a reminder that time was running out. As the time approached 10:30 p.m., a figure emerged from a dimly lit cafe, the warmth of a simple dinner lost to the chill of impending fate. Imad Mughniya, one of the most wanted men in the world, had just enjoyed a meal, oblivious to the consequences waiting in the shadows. He was a man who had navigated a life coated in secrecy and danger, yet tonight he walked with a disarming casualness, blending into the darkness around him like a ghost from the past. Through the operator's lens, every detail sharpened. The steady rhythm of Mughniya's footsteps echoed in their ears, a heartbeat syncing with the resolute march toward destiny. There was a moment, an eternal second, where the world around him blurred, focusing entirely on this one man. The operator tightened his grip on the controls, sweat coating his palms as he zeroed in. This was the moment they had painstakingly prepared for. As Mughniya reached his parked SUV, he glanced around, a reflexive habit of someone who lived under constant scrutiny. Yet tonight, the typical signs of threat eluded him. With an unhurried motion, he opened the door, completely unaware that the very air surrounding him was thick with the gravity of his impending doom. The operator felt a jolt, a rush of adrenaline coursing through him, aligning perfectly with the moment Mughniya breached the threshold of his vehicle. At the same instant, the detonator clicked, a sharp sound that reverberated through the operator's bones. It marked the transition from calm to calamity, a trigger igniting a meticulously orchestrated final act. The explosion was both sharp and controlled, resonating loud and clear beneath the night sky. Yet it was devastatingly swift, lasting only a fraction of a second, but etching itself permanently into the memories of those involved. A blinding flash illuminated the darkness, the shockwave bursting outward with lethal precision. The night air, once tranquil, was stunned into silence by the force unleashed. Remarkably calculated, the explosion was executed without collateral damage, a feat many wouldn't have deemed possible in such a chaotic act. No other cars were damaged, and no civilians were harmed. It was a stark reminder of the chilling precision that defined the operation. While the streets of Damascus remained dormant, the lives of countless others, both directly and indirectly, would never be the same. In that moment, as wreckage settled into almost complete stillness and the echoes of destruction faded, the operators stood frozen, their roles transitioning from observers of a controlled execution to witnesses of an indelible mark left on history. The clock continued ticking, but what lay ahead was a deep breath baiting for the future. What would this moment signify in the grand narrative of conflict, vengeance, and the intricate web of global power struggles? The night was quiet again, but the reverberations of the event were far from over. The air hangs heavy with confusion as Syrian police swiftly cordon off the site, their chaotic movements contrasting starkly with the somber atmosphere. Hezbollah officials rush in, faces tight with disbelief, unable to grasp the magnitude of what just transpired. Around the world, media outlets scramble for any scraps of information, reporters racing against the clock to piece together a story. Within hours, the landscape of speculation shifts dramatically. Whispers of a car accident rise and fall, only to be overshadowed by theories of an internal feud or perhaps a foreign operation pulling strings from the shadows. As the dust settles, Hezbollah issues a denial, yet the tone is laced with grief. In darkened rooms across Iran, leaders vow vengeance, their anger palpable even from thousands of miles away. Meanwhile, Israel and the US remain eerily silent, their lack of comment a chilling acknowledgement of the event's significance. What's striking is the cold professionalism behind it all. One of the world's most wanted terrorists has been eliminated, executed with precision and craft that leaves no witnesses, no trace of involvement. In this world of shadows, the absence of celebration only underscores the grim success of a mission. It's a stark reminder that in the realm of power and conflict, victory often comes wrapped in silence. The strike sent shockwaves through the region, altering the delicate balance of power. Hezbollah's vow for revenge reverberated across Lebanon as Iran deepened its security coordination, making clear their commitment to retaliate. Meanwhile, Western intelligence agencies were on high alert, anticipating potential retaliation efforts worldwide. Reports of failed or foiled plots flooded in, reflecting desperation and determination. In quiet corners, Israeli and American embassies received unseen reinforcements, a precautionary measure amid rising tensions. This silence is telling. It speaks volumes about strategic deterrence. Precision isn't just tactical, it's psychological warfare, a reminder that while the world holds its breath, the stakes are ever so high. In the shadows of international espionage, a secret partnership emerged between Mossad and the CIA, one that would redefine covert operations. Declassified documents reveal a rare operational fusion, where both agencies collaborated at the highest echelons. While the CIA provided cutting-edge surveillance and intricate bomb designs, Mossad leveraged its deep-rooted local networks for execution. Remarkably, there was no official paper trail, and only a select few within each agency were ever in the loop. This mission laid the groundwork for future precision counter-terrorism operations, setting a precedent that would resonate for decades to come. It reminds us that behind every headline, there's a complex web of collaboration ensuring global security. As the sun climbs higher, illuminating the now empty breakfast table, it's clear that the echoes of that quiet morning linger. The coffee cup sits alone, still warm, a ghost of comfort in an increasingly chaotic world. That moment, once filled with potential, became a turning point. One decisive act ended a cycle of violence, but it gave rise to a new era of warfare, one where precision ruled over the chaos of collateral damage. In this paradox, we see both a conclusion and a beginning. No medals, no witnesses, just results. As dawn breaks over the rooftops of Damascus, we are reminded that the world may be quieter, but it is far from safe.